Hello, everyone, and welcome to iReadit, bringing you your daily dose of the internet for Thursday, June 15th, 2017. I am Michael Schwahn.
And I'm Nathan Wood.
And I'm Adam Weinberg.
Please remember, everyone, you can help support our show by going to patreon.com/dailyinternet. Damn it, I have to pull up Hangouts real quick because I need to thank a dude, but I can't remember their name, but I sent it to Nathan earlier, so I'm going to pull up the chat real quick, and I'm going to keep talking to fill in that time, because
shame.
I need to give a special thank you to... It couldn't have been that far up here. Holy shit, maybe it could have. There it is. I need to give a special thank you to our newest patron, Christopher... Fuck.
I'm pretty sure that's not his name. If it is that Welsh?
The last name is Ifill. How did you pronounce that fuck?
My brain did
It's Welsh. No, that's the Welsh pronunciation.
Please stop. Fuck.
Christopher Ifill. Thanks.
Eiffel 65.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. Nathan appreciates you. You are.
Damn right, I appreciate you fucking donating to us.
Yeah, I mean, if enough people donate, Nathan might be able to eat regularly.
Dude, I ate such a good meal tonight.
Me too.
God,
I got paid yesterday, so today I heard the devil and it was like, treat yourself. So I was like, all right, we're gonna go down the street to that restaurant called Naruto.
Oh yeah, that one's
a good
amazing.
choice.
I love that. The ramen restaurant is the best.
Yeah. And I sat there and I had tempura udon with some gyoza and that little creme thing that they give you afterwards.
There's something kind of funny about the idea that he's like, I had such great food. What'd you have, ramen? And you go, what did I have?
Oh, I had steak. My uncle's in town.
Well, okay, so mine was really good ramen.
Oh, I know. it's
Mine
good
was
ramen.
really good steak. He took us to Sullivan's Steakhouse, where like all the steaks are $50 fucking.
See, I was with a bunch of weebs, so we wanted ramen.
Well, I mean, I really like ramen too, so that's understandable.
It was really good, dude.
Well, you are.
Well, I mean, you're a weeb, so that's understandable.
Holy shit, both of you. Man,
What's payback for Sunday?
what's maxing out my fucking processor? Did I mention I need computer upgrades? Hey people, computer upgrades, please. Blocks, I love you.
We're getting a
So
lot
you're
of
just
donations
some sticks
eventually,
of RAM
dude.
that are worth having.
What? No, I bought RAM. And I bought an SSD drive to help my computer's operating system, but I can't move the operating system from one hard drive to another, so I need a fresh install. And I have the install disk for this one, but it'll only install it if there's already Windows on there, and because it's a fresh hard drive, it won't. And I'm like, okay, well,
Dicks.
son of a bitch. All right, well, that's how that song and dance goes.
Get wrecked.
Yeah, pretty much. I have like a fucking $100 SSD drive literally just sitting in there doing nothing at all.
Yeah, no, get absolutely wrecked.
Tell it to get a job.
Dude, if I could make... technically, my computer has a job. It's the only reason that, like, that's how this show exists.
I know, but the SSD doesn't have a job.
It's going to have one.
No, it isn't. It's just bumming there, man.
Shut
just
up.
Borrowing electricity.
No full-time minimum wage worker can afford a 2-bedroom apartment in any U.S. state.
This was submitted by the Swamp Dweller to Our Politics.
So, basically, minimum wage across the country, even if you work 40 hours, which is considered full-time, it will not pay for a 2-bedroom apartment in any state.
Nope. Not even close.
In order
That's
to
lame.
afford a 2-bedroom apartment on average across the United States, you would need to make $21.21 an hour, working 40 hours a week, and that is assuming that you are only being charged 30% of your income for rent, which is normally not the accurate amount.
Why would you need two rooms if you're minimum wage?
I don't fucking know. That's just the way that this study ran, buddy.
That's interesting.
I mean, also, like, a really shitty...
Why would you... How many rooms would you be able to afford if you just stopped eating avocado toast in the morning?
What is that from?
There's a person who said that millennials can save a lot of money if they stopped eating avocado toast in the morning.
Yeah, because that's so expensive. Well, and the other thing is that they'll criticize millennials for not saving their money, but then they'll also criticize millennials for not spending their money at places like Applebee's and shit, and how the casual dining scene is going to go out of business because we're not spending money there. And it's like, you realize we don't have money. Well, you should save money then by not, eating toast.
So what I heard is eat Applebee's, skip toast, save money.
You want
How does
you want us to stimulate the economy while simultaneously saving
What they want is to stimulate the older economy and get rid of the newer economy, because avocado toast wasn't around a couple decades ago.
They also don't understand that the economy they grew up in just doesn't exist.
Nope.
I go basic white girl when it comes to avocado. I fucking love that shit.
I'm not. What does that mean?
I get extra when it comes to avocado. Like today, I had chicken fajitas at work, and that shit had avocado on it, and I was in like heaven for like 20 minutes.
I don't actually like. I
He's
hear
going to Urban Dictionary to check.
extra literally just means excessive or dramatic, way too much, over the top. Okay, sure.
I thought you were gonna type in basic white girl.
Oh, I should type in basic. Oh, they have basic white girl in here. Hang on. Basic white girl, a female who conforms to her surroundings and claims she is unique. She often drinks Starbucks, wears Ugg boots in August, and posts selfies on social networking sites every single day. Also uses hashtags that don't have anything to do with the picture itself. Nathan, this doesn't describe you.
That's because
When it comes to avocado,
not just in
Like,
August.
you can't afford Starbucks. You don't have Ugg boots.
hey, whoa! I got paid yesterday. I can afford Starbucks for another like 72 hours.
Yeah.
And you'll be asking the bum money to try and get an espresso.
No.
I don't do that anymore.
It's normally for food.
That's true.
I scrape together $1 to buy tea most of the time.
Yeah, he goes outside of the courthouse and just begs for a little
Just
bit
holds
to get
a
it.
sign.
I just get a
I'm
little
on
sign. Yeah.
break.
Work for state donations plaques.
I'm on break. I'm trying to get $1 before my break's over so I can buy something to drink. It'd probably work, actually.
Especially over there.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean,
Dude, let's be real. I could just go up to Heather and be like, "Hey, can I get a drink?" And she'd be like, "Yeah, here's $1."
because she's wonderful.
Yeah, I love that woman.
9. We could soon be painting our houses with solar paint for clean energy.
Oh, dude, that's fucking sick. This is submitted by Maviatar Futurology. Fucking sick.
Solar paint?
Yeah, so it doesn't explain how you actually get the energy out yet, but basically it's a paint that has a chemical added to it that allows it to break down the moisture in the air. So it'll pull out the H2O in the air, separate the hydrogen and oxygen molecules, and then that will create enough energy that can then be stored so that you can use it to power a house. Thing is I don't understand how a slab of the material, like, unless, like, the energy can be transferred across the material easily, because it doesn't say how you actually harvest the energy, just that it can collect it. But either way, it's not difficult to make. It's extremely cheap to make because one of its key ingredients is already the key ingredient to paint, which is titanium oxide. It's a white pigment that's used in almost every form of paint. And then you just paint your house with it, hook it up to your solar panels, apparently. It doesn't actually explain how that works. And then, boom, your paint on your house is generating energy.
It looks like it's saying it makes an actual fuel. So it's not like you'd be storing it like you would for the sake of, like, electricity on a
Your house
solar
is
panel.
just pouring off latent energy.
It would
Your
just-
house is going super saiyan.
Yeah, you would have, like, a hydrogen fuel, like, canister, basically, that you would have somewhere attached to your house.
I guess.
Siphons all of this hydrogen into it.
I guess.
See, the only thing I can think of, which is really random, but, like, I'm just picturing the concept of it being economically viable to spit on your neighbor's house then.
Yeah,
Like,
technically, yeah.
just spit on their house, like, yeah, I just made them like $1.
It's still in development. You probably won't see it even be relatively commercially available for at least 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't planning on buying a house in 5 years at least yet.
That's fair. I hope.
You
like to
never
hope.
plan to do things, but you know what?
You
Sometimes
know
the
what,
house falls
though?
into your lap because a relative dies.
You don't normally, like, accidentally buy a house. If you are buying a house, it's normally planned.
Oopsie
No, I'm
daisy.
just saying, you never know when a relative's gonna die.
Well, see, that's different. Then you are inheriting a house, not buying one.
You also assume they own a house.
That's
Ow.
fair. No, that's completely valid in my case.
So, Putin offers political asylum to James Comey, citing potential prosecution in the United States.
This is submitted by Mepper to Our World News. Wasn't he doing this in jest?
Maybe? We don't actually know.
Let's go through all the times that people have been like, Putin, you're just kidding around.
Right?
Like, let me just go through all the list of jokes that I've got pulled up for him. Damn it. Nope, nothing.
Yeah, so it was during a what is this thing called?
It's still weird to see you flipping through an article and then see Michael Flynn in the middle of it, and I'm like, what?
Oh,
what?
yeah. It's called Direct Line, and it's an annual thing that Vladimir Putin holds where he answers questions from a live audience as well as over the phone. And one of the questions that they asked was about, the whole situation with James Comey. And he basically said, it looks pretty odd that the director of a security service is making records of his talks with the Supreme Commander. He called Trump Supreme Commander. Anyway, but he did offer James Comey asylum should he need it, and I'm like, thanks. I think. I also feel like you'll interrogate him.
I mean, he was the director of the FBI, wasn't he?
Yes.
I mean, what
probably has a lot
nowhere
of
that he
information.
goes is going to be safe. Like, he could go to our closest ally, and they're still going to be like, so hey, what's the paint on the wall?
He's gonna be like, tell us secrets or we'll extradite you.
What are you trying to find?
I realized I didn't get any water before we started.
Do you want to make an excuse, give me a water, and then you can get yourself a water?
Holy what? Yeah, in a moment.
Do you need me to do it?
I don't need you to do shit. Yeah, maybe. Sure.
All right.
Wait. Oh, you to get the water. I thought you meant read the fucking headline.
Jesus Christ, no.
Whatever.
That's your job.
Oh, sure.
Reading McReader time.
Grenfell Tower fire is, quote, corporate manslaughter and arrests must be made, says Member of Parliament David Lammy.
Is that what MP stands for?
Yep.
This is submitted by Snows Nothing to Our World News.
Snows Nothing.
Yeah, we've gone over this. This guy's got an amazing name.
He does have an amazing name. It's glorious and wonderful and fits perfectly. My stomach also quit gurgling from that steak that I ate. Anyway, so in light of the Grenfell Tower fire disaster that happened early yesterday morning, late 2 nights ago. Anyway, since there were reports and evidence that showed that there should have been something done about the tower in terms of the situation that it was in, both, not having proper fire exits, fire extinguishing equipment. The fire extinguishers weren't tested recently. Some of them didn't work. No sprinklers, etc. Had flammable friggin' cladding on the outside. That someone needs to be held responsible for it. He didn't name any names or point any fingers. Just that there are people that are at fault that could have done something for all of these people being dead, and they need to fucking do,
There needs to be a day of reckoning.
Essentially, yeah.
What was the historical fires that happened in America that caused riots? It was like the something shirt fire. Like it was something about
St. Elmo's fire?
No. Like
Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire?
that might be it. Yeah, 1911. Yeah, that was it.
What was the Boston fire? Was it just called the Boston fire?
Maybe.
Probably. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire, March 25th in 1911. Deadliest industrial disaster in the history of the city in New York City. 146 people died, which was 123 women and 23 men.
Yeah, and it caused a bunch of riots, and I think that also kind of helped set up safety codes for why we have fire escapes and things like that.
Makes sense. That's cool though,
Yeah.
and
Also tragic.
Yeah, also tragic. But if hopefully London will follow suit now.
It's only shirtwaist, not a full suit.
Wow, that was so bad.
I learned from watching you.
Me?
You guys.
Okay.
No, that would be me. Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys. Sorry.
Sarah asked why we were going live so late. We go live on Facebook Monday through Thursday, normally at 6 p.m. Alaska time, 7 p.m. on the West Coast, 10 p.m. on the East Coast. We are late today because my aunt and uncle are both in town from far away, and so I went to have dinner with them.
So he ate liquid gold. That's why he's
Oh,
late.
I'm dying.
And that's why. That's literally purely the reason why, because family. 6. Federal judge rejects Dakota Access Pipeline permits and calls for a do-over.
This was submitted by Nomad to our news.
The fight will never stop. Ever stop. So Donald Trump took the presidency back in January and immediately signed permits to allow the Dakota Access Pipeline to be completed. It was completed and began pumping oil on June 1st. Now, today, June 15th, a judge has signed that they did not get the permits legally and that the proper inspections were not conducted and that they will need to shut down. Actually, his order doesn't say that they have to shut down operations. The local tribe said that until you had the proper permits that oil should stop. They told them no, oil is going to continue through. We'll continue operation until we have, even while we wait to get the proper permits.
Okay.
God damn it. Are we going to
This
hear
is-
about this in 2020?
Probably. I don't expect
This is kind of cool because, I'm kind of on the side of not having the pipeline, but whatever.
I'm agreeing with you, but, like,
Uh-oh.
damn, could this stop already? Like,
Well, I
Jesus
mean,
Christ.
for a while they thought it had stopped because Donald Trump became president and said, build a pipeline, and then, so they did.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, he forgets that he is not actually the supreme commander, and there's, rules in place.
He's not the God Emperor?
Yeah.
He's not the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch.
Although it was interesting. I was listening to Alec Baldwin talking about, how he felt the psychology of Trump was, and he was like, yeah, well, his whole thing is, like, what he used to do was he would tear down old buildings and put up new buildings with his name on them. And that's pretty much all he's been doing as president, is just tearing down stuff without really kind of caring what was there, just like he did with those buildings. Puts up new stuff, and he's like, this is the Trump thing.
Yeah.
This is the Trump care.
Makes sense.
And so, I mean, it's kind of interesting to see that from the perspective of the guy who's becoming famous yet again for impersonating him.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I mean, this isn't shutting down the pipeline. They're not stopping production of the oil. They're not stopping flow through it. They just are getting the inspections while it's already built to make sure that everything is okay.
I feel Obama missed a very just solid moment where on his way out as president, he could have been like, my watch has ended.
Yeah, I think Obama was ready to skip out the door.
I think the one thing that he might have commented on was that he needed Luther. If he was going to do anything related to that, he was probably going to make a comment about the Key and Peele skit. But he was still just like shitting mustard gas.
This Key and Peele's amazing. Why? Why do you guys do this?
It smells so bad.
Am I going to have to bring a fan out? Am I going to have to apologize to the
Why
audience for
do
why
you
there's
do
a fan?
this?
It's making me tear up.
Mustard gas does that!
Mustard gas
do you
kills
keep
people,
masks
dude.
here?
I've watched
Lord.
Wonder Woman. I know what mustard gas does.
Why?
I don't mean to. My butt's just unhappy.
Well, fucking just put something in it to fucking make it happy, and then
God's
just move
sake.
on.
Oh, God.
God damn
So
it.
I paid $9 for a beer for this.
Fine. Canada bans cell phone unlocking fees. Order all new devices be unlocked.
This was submitted by Man of Many Talents. R News.
So currently, if you buy an iPhone or the new Samsung Galaxy S8 from, like, we'll say AT&T, it only works with AT&T. If you decide you don't want AT&T anymore and you want to go over to Verizon, that phone won't work. You can go to AT&T and get them to unlock it, and they will charge you $50 to allow you to use your phone on another carrier.
Okay, I can get behind
Crazy.
this.
And Canada said that's bullshit. That is basically ransom for a device that someone owns. You're not allowed to do that anymore. You have to make it free to do unlocks, and all future devices have to be unlocked.
I can get behind Canada making this illegal.
Yeah,
That's cool.
makes sense. It's my phone. I should get to use it where I want, how I want.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the weird, like, awkward zone of you don't actually own it, you just kind of use it thing, you basically bought it, you basically own it, let me use it wherever the hell I want.
Well, and the other thing, like, on the flip side, though, like, and they reported profits of, like, $4.1 million from unlocking fees last year.
Sure.
Which is a substantial amount, but at the same time, how often are you switching carriers that is such a burden?
Well, my other question is, how much does it cost the corporation to have it unlocked? Like, if it costs them literally nothing, then of course they made $4.1 million because there's no cost to have it unlocked.
Well, it actually has a cost to have it locked, and then they have to pay to remove that lock on it. So they paid initially so that it would only work on their carrier,
Yeah.
and then they have to send it off to have that lock removed.
They just... Oh,
Yeah.
fucking God. Okay. That's...
Stupid?
Welcome to corporations.
Everything's mine and I don't want you to touch it. Oh.
You've been having trouble with that 4 button today.
I
already.
always do, okay? Americans gave $390 billion to charity last year.
Jesus, this was submitted by Shiloh Watson to our uplifting news.
Go us!
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Sometimes we aren't douchebags.
Well, hang on.
Well, of that, the 50 largest gifts totaled $5.6 billion. The gifts from individuals alone, so, regular people giving money, was $282 billion of that. And then the rest was from corporations, groups, unions, etc.
Huh.
That's what's up.
There isn't a lot of evidence as to why, at least not that's presented in the article, as to why there was such an increase. This is about a 4% increase, 3% increase from the year before.
This was the I'm really sorry for how I voted.
You know what I think it actually is 2016 was a real shitty year in terms of world crises.
Yeah.
I mean, between like all the shit that happened in France.
Between all of the celebrity dying?
God damn it.
Nathan, really? Like, all of the terrorist attacks that happened, there was charities for all of them. And people, like, what can you do? I mean, I can give them some money, I guess.
Nathan can skip out on the one coffee he was hoping to have this month to give to,
I don't even drink coffee that much anymore, except for when I'm at my house on the weekends, because I have a fucking French press now. Shouts out to Chad Rolk, because that motherfucker left me with a French press. That thing's awesome.
He moved, right?
It's the only
Yeah.
way he's getting
I miss him so much.
So, yeah, Americans gave away a lot of money last year.
I think I like this next charity part.
What I want to know, though, is of that $390 billion, how much of it actually went to benefiting whatever those charities are associated with? Because there's a large number of charities that when you donate $1, like March of Dimes, by the way, the reason it's called March of Dimes is because each dollar, only a dime actually goes to helping people. The other 90% is like, I don't want to say it's pocketed, but it's like operation fees, payroll, etc.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it's tough to keep that stuff rolling otherwise.
It's true, but it still is like,
Oh, no, it's a feel bad.
It's something that you want to frown on.
Yeah, I frown on it.
Yeah.
For his birthday, Donald Trump learns that he is personally under investigation.
This is submitted by Trump is my savior to our politics.
Happy birthday
Do you feel
to
bad?
the U.S.
Do you
I feel dirty.
You feel dirty?
We have that on recording. We could get that as a GIF.
As a GIF, you mean like a sound
Soundbite?
clip?
Yeah. A GIF, if you prefer.
Could you please not?
Well, now I have to.
No.
Let me just put the marker. Right.
Stop. Misquotes. God, you're worse than fucking Fox News.
False news, fake news, alternative facts.
Washington Post actually really likes to do shit like that.
You're worse than Daily Mail.
Ooh.
That's rude.
That's, ow. All right. Anyway. So, it turns out that Donald Trump is now under personal investigation. He earned himself a personal investigation after he fired James Comey.
What a friggin' surprise.
Yeah, right? The new special counsel that has been assigned to the Russia investigation, Mr. Robert Mueller.
Mueller.
What?
He's making a Ferris Bueller reference. You won't get it, don't worry.
Okay,
You
yeah.
weren't born in 83, it's fine.
I don't
Mueller.
get it.
Stop it, he doesn't get the reference, and you're not Ben Stein.
Anyway.
It's true.
Mueller has decided that he is going to be investigating Donald Trump and is specifically asking some special intelligence committees about conversations that have been taking place, because it definitely seems as though Trump could possibly be at fault for obstruction of justice, particularly relating to investigations into Mike Flynn as well as the ties to Russia.
Damn.
What a surprise.
Yep.
That's a really shitty birthday present.
Well, the interesting thing is Trump hasn't responded to this yet, which normally
normally he fucking tweets the shit out of it, everything.
Yeah, starts ripping on stuff. But
well, my guess is that somebody was like, no, seriously, this time, like, just shut up.
Please.
I mean, he constantly calls this a witch hunt, so, like, I don't know if he said anything recently about witch hunts, but...
Well, he turned me into a newt.
I got better. I get that reference.
Yay!
The bat signal to shine over Los Angeles in honor of Adam West.
In otter.
In honor of God damn it. Such a sad thing.
I don't even have the clicker. It's all the way over there.
That's nice. Who's this fucking submitted by?
Captain Arius to our movies.
Yep, in honor of Adam West, LA is going to be shining the bat signal over LA. I don't know what this means. Like, are they literally going to shine it up in the clouds, Gotham style?
Yeah, they're just going to shoot it up into the air.
What were they going to do? Like, where else were they going to put it?
I don't know.
They shine it directly into the smog so that the entire city can see it.
That's fucked up.
You know I'm not wrong.
No, it's Hollywood. It's all smug.
It's a pun.
Oh, that was pretty good.
It was a South Park episode.
Was it?
Yeah, except it was San Francisco.
Okay, well, it sounds like he's the only one who got that reference.
Apparently. So, I mean, they could have, like, I don't know, lit it up on the side of a building or something.
I mean...
Dude, I would light one up for Adam West.
The problem is that then you aren't giving off, like, the feel of the whole Adam West, like, Batman.
Yeah, but what if there's no clouds that night?
Then they'll probably wait till another night, or they'll frickin' have...
But it's scheduled.
They'll shine it on the moon.
Nathan.
I'm pretty sure that they can come up with something.
If God wills it, dude.
Put a blimp up there and
well, if they
shine it on
just
the
send
blimp?
you there, you'll just fart up the frickin' entire city, and then they'll
Jesus.
just...
You'll
just
let
shine
out
it
like
off his
37
ass gas?
fucking
Like, wow.
snake farts and you never hear the end of it.
Well, I mean, 37 since the podcast started. I've been here since before then.
Hey. What? Trump sells Qatar $12 billion of U.S. weapons days after accusing it of funding terrorism.
This is submitted by Scale Up YT to our World News,
Okay.
not The Onion.
So, this is actually a $21 billion deal. $12 billion of that is going to be purchasing 36 F-15 QA fighter jets. One thing that I should point out, though, is that this deal was first printed and inked back in November of 2016 under the Obama administration. Now, that said, that doesn't mean they couldn't have pulled out of the deal. Trump did send out a tweet after the entire kerfuffle that happened in the Middle East with Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, and other countries withdrawing their allegiances from Qatar and pulling their citizens as well as ambassadors out of it under the belief that they are funding terrorism. Donald Trump took a similar stance, sending out a tweet saying, that Qatar was funding terrorism, or at least that he believed that they did so. And then days later, finished signing the deal to sell them a bunch of weapons.
I'm not going to claim to be a businessman or a politician, but I really feel like you shouldn't talk that much smack to that many people and then try and look them in the eye by the end of the month.
What movie is it from where is it Clint Eastwood? I don't know. He tells the guy, he like slides the gun over to him. He's like, pick up the gun. I don't want to pick up the gun because then you'll shoot me. No, it'll be fine. Just pick up the gun. And he figures out, he finally convinces this kid to pick up the gun. He picks up the gun and the dude shoots him like 4 times. He's like, you all saw it. He had a gun. And people are like, this is the problem with America is that we're like, here you go, have a bunch of guns. Fuck, they got guns. Blow them up.
I wish that wasn't true.
Can you?
But
is there such thing as
watch Syria from beginning to end.
Is there such thing as entrapment on a global scale?
Yes. I mean, I don't think that the UN has a way of proving it, but yes, if entrapment can happen on a local
theoretically.
Level. Andrew makes a good point in the chat room that terrorism is rarely committed with fighter jets. And that's what Qatar has come out and said, that they will be using these weapons and such to help combat against violent extremism, which is fine. And, I mean, Trump's probably excited as hell about it because it's $21 billion that is coming to us. The other thing is that this isn't going to be happening all at once. One of the reasons that Trump said he was okay with the deal is because that arms trade is agreed upon now, but it'll be being fulfilled over the next several years. And Trump believes that they will sort out the problems that they're having, before the majority of the weapons get over there.
Okay, right. So this brings up an interesting point. Don't you think the terrorists would use fighter jets if they could get them? Like, it's not... I'm not stating that they're going to, that Qatar is doing that. I'm just curious now, because, I mean, it's just a thought experiment. If you gave a terrorist, a Raptor, don't you think they'd use it?
Do you know how to fly a plane?
They only need to fly it into the building. They've proven that before.
That is not a good use of a fucking fighter jet.
I guess that's fair, but it's got a bunch of explosives, so it'd be a big boom.
Andrew's got another good point. The money that they give us for the jets cannot be given to terrorists.
Well, I don't feel like
unless you count us as terrorists.
I don't feel like they normally give money to terrorists. I feel like the thing is when I read this, I don't see this as us funding someone who funds terrorism, because the majority of the time, what it means when you're funding terrorism isn't necessarily giving them money. You're giving them like AKs, and let's face it, you could arm 1,000 people with AKs for most countries' pocket change.
Yeah. Kalashnikovs or whatever the fucking call, they're fucking cheap as shit. Yeah. Kalashnikovs.
Yeah.
If they still sold them that way, yeah.
Yeah, they do. And, I mean...
Oh, that's right. It's just illegal to get them here in America now, isn't it?
No, you can get them.
I thought that Kalashnikovs were something that was, kind of a rare item now.
They can't be automatic, but you can have semi-automatic ones.
Yeah, well, you can get a permit for it.
I mean...
Super durable guns.
They're actually... Fuck you.
They actually aren't as durable as they used to claim.
Kalashnikovs are great guns. They are the most widely used gun in the world and are extremely good weapons.
He said they were durable guns.
Oh, I thought he said they weren't great guns.
He said they were durable.
Oh.
Yeah.
They are pretty durable.
Yeah, because those are the guns where everybody's had, World War II stories where it's like, oh, there's a rotting corpse on top of this gun, and then they just rounded one in the chamber and fired it, and they're like, well, that was crazy.
Yep.
Except that wasn't... The Kalashnikovs didn't come out in World War II.
Well, I'm saying, it came from basically the same line.
Andrew said in the chat room, finest assault rifle ever made. No, it's true. It's one of the best guns that was ever made. It's like the 1911 pistol. It's called a 1911 because it came out in 1911, and it's still used today.
Interesting note, I've been hanging out with Carlos, and Carlos bought a 1911 and a Thompson.
God damn it, I'm jealous of his ass.
There's something really just satisfying about handling a piece of metal like that.
It's funny though, because he was talking about it in he's talking about some of the other guns that he's had, pistols and stuff like that, and how easy they are to take apart. And he's like, dude, 1911 suck to try and take apart and clean.
Yeah.
It's a bitch.
Yeah.
It's a good gun, but
if you want a real reliable weapon that's easy to take apart and clean and just looks nice, get a Beretta. Which is a 92 Beretta. Great gun.
Which is the exact same thing that he owns.
Yeah, I like Carlos.
Keep in mind, Carlos used to be, if I recall right, he did competitive sharpshooting.
That's cool.
That's what he did when
There's so much.
I did competitive sharpshooting.
Military
He's
school.
the ultimate secret. He could be the fucking I don't want to. Yeah.
Dude, okay.
By the way, hang on. One quick thing. Our president has tarnished the term Trump card.
Damn it.
Hey.
He's our wild card. There we go.
So I did competitive shooting as well.
Were you any good?
It was I shot fairly well in the PlayStation 2 game for the Olympics for London.
Basketball or heroin.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me. Hey Nathan, what did you care about in the last 24 hours?
See how it's sunny outside?
Yeah.
That usually means that it's prime season for 4-leaf clovers.
Yeah.
I found my first one today.
Yeah.
Because I actually had a little bit of time to look for it.
Cool.
Last year, I don't think I'm going to break my record for last year.
How many did you find last year?
Last year, I found over 20 4-leaf clovers and 8 5-leaf clovers.
Do you have it with you?
No, it's downstairs.
Weak.
And it's all shriveled and dead. I have a picture of it, though. If you guys want to see it, it's on my Facebook.
I saw the picture.
Me too.
It was not a bad-looking one. It had a good form.
I liked it. Boop. No. Like button. Hey, Adam. Let's see. This one. Oh, shit. What'd you care about in the last... It's been a while since you've been on the show.
Yeah, it has.
What'd you care about recently?
Not a lot.
No?
A lot of work, and that's about it.
I'm sorry.
Being brain dead.
Money?
Yeah.
So how you feel living in a house with a bunch of stoners?
I mean...
Not bad, actually. It's alright half the time.
That part's not that big of a deal. The problem is that there's one loud motherfucker who's...
Wait, who do you live with?
Tom, Bobby, and Pfeiffer.
Those guys aren't stoners.
Bobby's starting to get pretty competitive, man.
Yeah,
How
pipe for
often?
two.
How often does he smoke?
Daily?
All the time.
Okay, how much daily?
I don't.
About 2 to 3 hits, 2 to 3 dabs at the same time.
That's cute.
I'm sorry, I wasn't aware that this was a freaking weed.
No,
smoking
it's like a
competition.
dick. It's like a dick sizing up contest for me.
Well, Carlos at least was shooting competitively, and he's talking.
I was shooting competitively
Shut
in
the
the
fuck up,
fucking
Nathan.
London games
Yeah.
on the PlayStation 3. I'm sorry, PlayStation 3.
I'm okay with it because Bobby and Tom, they know how to be quiet and roommates.
And then there's
respectful.
Piper.
And then there's Piper, who talks randomly sometimes, especially to his dog, and he doesn't have
An inside voice.
an inside voice or an it's nighttime voice. And his dog whimpers like it's been shot whenever anybody enters or leaves the house and they aren't immediately touching the dog. So there have been days where the dog's been whimpering for 2 hours straight because it's not getting loving, and I'm like, fuck you, dog, I'm going to bed. I'm going to murder you.
Just snuggle with it.
No.
No.
I do not want to snuggle with that dog when I want to go to bed. Then the dog's going to get up and wake me the fuck up.
Thing I cared about in the last 24 hours is something I cared about in the last 3 hours, and that's I mentioned earlier that my uncle was in town, and he took us to a Sullivan Steakhouse downtown, and that was the first time that I've ever eaten a steak that had a price tag that was over $50. And that was a really good steak, but apparently my stomach didn't agree with that because.
Well, your stomach isn't used to class, just like none of ours.
What is this? What is this shit? Get the fuck out of here.
Oh god, wait a minute. Why is this so savory and
Where's
wonderful?
the Taco Bell, damn it? I use that to help clog things.
Normally what happens is the weight that comes out of your wallet in the process kind of offsets, but since that's all still there because you weren't the one paying for it.
Well, there's no weight in my wallet, dude.
I know, but there's a difference. Normally it just kind of disappears and puffs into ash.
Yeah, sure. Other than that, though, I'm excited for the weekend. I started playing The Witcher.
The Weeknd's a pretty good, artist. He's all right,
God damn
He's
it.
got a couple decent songs.
A couple, yeah. That doesn't make him a decent artist.
But he's a star
Good enough.
boy.
I mean, fucking, you could say the people that made Bop are a decent artist if we're going by those
Hell
terms.
yeah, Hanson's the jam.
That's the only song that made anything.
I'll kill you, dude.
Anyway, everybody, if you'd like to help support the show, patreon.com/dailyinternet. Thank you again to Christopher Ifil for Ifil, whatever the fuck your name is, Mr. Christopher Fuck, for supporting the show. Hey, get off my nuts, bro.
You can't tell me what to do.
You're not my daddy.
Oh, whoa. Wanna be?
What? No. What the hell's wrong with you?
Do we have that much time in the post show?
No. There you go. I farted for you.
I
Ian,
know,
just for
again.
you. Yep.
You mustard gas motherfucker.
You're welcome. Otherwise, follow us and share us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All of those are at iReadit Casts. If you do watch the live show, which is 6 p.m. on Alaska time, 7 p.m. West Coast,
Normally.
10 p.m. East, the update, we do send updates on both Twitter and Facebook if that is not going to happen. So be sure you follow along on Facebook or Twitter or both if you'd like to keep along with those updates. Otherwise, you can help us a lot by giving us a 5-star review on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play. That increases our visibility so that when people search for shows in general, that will show up higher on the list. Otherwise, if you got something that you would like to say to us, I didn't say I didn't like Bop, Andrew. I do like the song. I was just making a point that Hanson has no other songs that are relevant in any way ever from history.
Was it even Hanson?
Anyway. What the
It
fuck?
was Hanson.
Send us an email to our inbox, feedback.ireadit@gmail.com, or call and leave us a voicemail at 508-738-2278.
I need a mashup of Bop and the Scat Man.
Please no. All right, everybody. That is your 306th dose of the internet. We'll be back on Monday, and I am Michael Schwahn.
And I'm Nathan Wood.
And I'm Adam Weinberg.
And please remember, everybody,
Don't get eliminated.
have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.